This is probably the worst thing that can happen to you on a shift as a biomedical scientist. So it was looking to be a quiet night. It only got 100 samples left to run, handed over from the previous shift. However, at about 11:30 p.m, one of our systems went down, which meant there was no communication between the analysers and our laboratory system. At this point, I didn't really know what to do because it seemed like there was an issue not only with the laboratory system, but also with our communication system called AMS. Obviously, this was affecting biochemistry as well, so they rang AMS and I rang up Dedulus, which is our laboratory system company, and about 1 o'clock they rang me back to say there was an issue with Telepath and that there was one particular sample that had caused an error in the system. So we cleared the error, all was well, or so I thought. About 45 minutes later, biochemistry came back over asking if I was having more communication issues, which when I had a look at my most recent samples, the results hadn't transmitted over. So we're back to square one, back on the phone, and it was about 2 a.m. at this point. I also started to get calls off A&E as some of my results didn't transmit within that 45-minute window I had earlier. So I had to start thinking about what am I going to do if I can't resolve this. And I came to the conclusion that because I was on my own, it probably wasn't best to manually transcribe all those results. So it was going to have to be printed results. But the good news was at 10 to 4, AMS rang back to say that they'd fixed the issue their side, and about 4 o'clock, Telepath also rang me back to say that they'd fixed the issue at their side. However, the issue was at 4 a.m. every morning we have planned downtime for about half an hour where we allow the laboratory system to reboot itself. So I had to say to the engineer from Telepath that I'll let you know within half an hour. If it's still not working, I'll ring you back. If I don't ring you back, it's good news and everything's back to normal. And thankfully at 4:30, everything was back to normal.